Morning. What are you doing today, Doc? I got a lot going on today, believe it or not. I didn't think I was gonna. Talk a little bit about winter lawn care and if there's anything you need to do, which there probably isn't. And then I got to put ram board down the floors over on the cabin. And I just had my painting crew show up, and I'll explain why we're going to have that brand new cabin and our shed painted. Everything is green, and I'm kind of happy, to be honest. We've been through lows of 26 degrees here. It was 30. We're dipping down into the 30s at night, so it's not real hard freezing. And then we're getting up in the 50s and 60s during the day. But man, and we've had rain, and we've got more rain coming. This perennial rye just looks awesome. And but John came out, we cut this back, and the perennial rye looks fantastic, having gone through 20s. So is there anything that you need to do this time of year? Really, for most of you guys that have Bermuda lawns that are dormant, there's really not a whole lot you can do. The only two things I recommend, three things actually, is number one, get a soil test. Great time of the year to get a soil test. Everyone's slow. Get a soil test and see what you do, prepare for next year. But this time of year, you can do your pH treatments and do them really hard and heavy. So if your pH is way off, let's say it's real low, like a 5.0, you can come out here and pound down lime and not be worried about your lawn. The other thing you can do is put down humichar, adding that biochar, adding that carbon to your soil, because it takes a long time to work in. So humichar, lime, pH, soil test, that's about it. This, I want to show you four different green things. This right here, it still even has a little frost on it in some areas. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? So I'm going to take you out to the pond. Now this is perennial rye, and it's about the only thing we can get to grow out here because of all the shade. So let me take you out and show you the annual rye, and you'll see this is nice dark green. I'm putting green chocker down on it. So if you have an annual or a perennial rye or anything that's still green, put down some green chocker. It's all fast release. It's a 712, and it's probably just what you need. This is annual ryegrass, and you can see the annual rye comes up with a little bit lighter green color. But man, doesn't that look good? I mean, here we are in December. And this is a cheap annual ryegrass. I bought it at Lowe's, and this is all just starting to come up. It should even get thicker and thicker now that we got some rain. So let me walk you over. He's setting up a pressure washer. They're going to pressure wash my white storage shed and probably clean the cabin a little bit. And I'll explain why we're painting it, especially the cabin when I just got it. So my trench line, I want to show you. So this area in here has annual ryegrass, has clover, has a little bit of turnip, and then now that we got rain, it's coming up. But you remember that trench line we did, what, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago? I put down some annual ryegrass. We've been cold. So that's annual ryegrass. That's germinating with lows down in the 30s. As long as you get some rain, it'll germinate. The stuff will grow. You know, I don't really recommend overseeding Bermuda or zoysia lawns. I think it's a good time just to take a break, let them rest up, you know, and mentally and everything else, just take a break from it. So the other day I came out here, I did a video, I stained those stairs. They came out great. I'm trying not to get mud all over my boots. But when I ordered this cabin, we thought that this brown color was actually going to have a little bit more green to it, because we wanted a real earth tone color that would be the opposite color spectrum of red, which is technically kind of a green. So we've been out here testing paint colors, and I really wanted an earth tone sort of sage. And see that lighter one on the right? The one on the left is too green, but this sage color, when the sun hits it, it looks kind of tan. But I really like that. So we're gonna have the white shed that's over there painted, and then this one painted as well too. It'll look really nice.
What you do to me is in confliction, a straight contradiction with my mind. Guilty pleasure has a bitter taste. In the end, my friend, are you sure you wanna fight? Ooh, has got I'm a gazelle, always running, adrenaline in every blood cell. Some say I'm unwell, but I don't care. Oh, I swear. Disagree. Love the circumstances, not me. Who has got the time? Not me. I'm a gazelle, always running, adrenaline in every blood cell. Some say I'm unwell, but I don't care. Oh, I swear I don't care. Don't care.
So my crew is over there doing a real light pressure washer, even though this is a new cabin, there's a little bit of mud on it. So they're rinsing that off, and then they just got done doing a light pressure wash on this shed. They're both pretty clean, but it's always good to pressure wash them a little bit before you paint. I'm a real big stickler when it comes to painting in the wintertime as far as humidity and temperature. I know they make paints that are, you can apply down to like 35 degrees. I told my paint guy, I said, I ain't doing that. We're gonna wait till we get a warming trend. Thursday and Friday during the day, it's gonna be warmer. So this is the shed that we have in white. And kind of like it, but like I said, I think it'll be a much better fit with the house when we get that. The color is called, if you want to know what it's called, it's Sherwin-Williams. It's called Messenger Bag, and like a canvas. It almost looks like canvas, and it's a really great earth tone color. It's not too green, it's not tan, but it's like canvas. If you ever see a canvas tarp, that's what it looks like. So I figured I'd just take you up to the field, because I got to say I'm proud of these fields. we really practice no-till regenerative farming. We always have. We no longer till our fields. We always have roots in the ground, and they have just exploded. We had 14,000 pounds of lime put down here, and we ran a subsoiler hook. A subsoiler hook is a hook. If you've watched my other videos, it's a hook that you tow that goes deep down and actually lifts down below, because what we have here is we have a rock hard clay surface that's due to high potassium. And I warned you guys about using winterizers that have high potassium. If your soil doesn't need potassium, don't use it, because you can lock up, you can make that clay really hard. But look at this diversity. Now the deer, I have probably, during the night, I'll probably have anywhere from 30 to 80 deer walk through these fields and just in here and graze. We put a little bit of corn and feed out here, but man, they come in here. Look at this. So this is just, the diversity in here is just crazy. So I've got clover, I've got cereal rye, I've got turnips. I put out a little bit of forage oats, but Austrian winter peas, which are really coming up in the cornfield over here. Now, in a previous video, I talked about the winterizing we did on the garden, and our garden won't be touched until next year. It just sits here just like this. So we pulled all the old produce, and anything that was left over we put into a compost pile with our wood chips. But this is what our garden now looks like. This clover will stay here all year round, roots in the ground, and then we till these strips and we put in composted wood chips, dirt booster, a little bit of lime, and we leave it. This will actually be alive all winter long, and all we have to do, we don't have to do anything else. We just come in here and we can just plant right in these rows again. Top dress with a little bit of dirt booster super compost. Actually, I want to walk over to the barn real quick, and I want to look at, I keep some of these old these old beams from the 1700s. I keep them stored up in my barn, and we're going to use some of them in that cabin project over here. I just want to make sure I'm not getting a whole bunch of bird nests built up on them. So these came out of a tobacco barn. The tobacco barn was built around 1795, and I bought the whole entire lot of them for the house. But I've got, you can see them here, and these are all just the way they came out of the barn. They're absolutely gorgeous, all hand hewed. Look at the notches in them. Isn't it crazy? They are just absolutely gorgeous beams. So I'll use those in the new cabin project. You can't make those. Look at this, is where see the old feed troughs up here? He used to have goats on this property. This is the old barn that we salvaged. So I don't think I've ever shown you guys this side of the property. This is actually the upper part of our property. There's a road over here. You'll probably hear some cars going by, but this is our cornfield that basically got decimated this year. Drought hit it, it all dried out. It was horrible. So I've come by, and what I've done is I've planted cereal rice, some turnip, clover, and some Australian winter peas. And I gotta say, I am absolutely thrilled. I am just thrilled with what's going on here. This is just looking fantastic. This is going to make a really good planting field next year. Again, we did that subsoiler lift in here. That's all we did. We didn't till this at all. And man, that it's just going to be, I'm just so happy with this. You can see this is all, this whole field, that whole middle field, that field over there is all basically just established for the deer. And they just coming through here all night long like crazy. So why don't we do some predictions? I'm going to make my prediction. I predict that this January and February are going to be a brutal winter. I think we're finally going to get some snow events here. I can't wait. I miss snow so much. I want some snow. But I think it's going to be kind of brutal. I don't know why. I just have that feeling. Maybe because the past few years have been pretty mild in winters. But I just think we're going to have some really rough cold and storm events coming in. I don't know why. I just have that gut feeling. Drop a comment down below. Let me know your prediction. And the winner will get nothing. Anyways, just killing a little time. Talk to you later. Doc.